2 years ago, on an HR call, I learned that I was getting laid off. And in a Hail Mary attempt to save my job, I volunteered to relocate. It would involve a pay cut at one of the satellite offices of my company. Unexpectedly, it worked. I found myself relocated to London. That choice not only changed my life, but it also introduced me to a life I didn't even know I wanted until I had it. Hi, I'm Yukes. After building a career in the startup and corporate worlds, I stepped away to take a year off to just explore all the paths that I hadn't taken before. If you're scared of layoffs, you might find this helpful. This is what I learned and what I would do differently. First of all, raise your hand for something different. Whether that's a relocation, a proactive pay cut, or an internal team transfer to a side of the company where your position might be a bit more protected. 2, use uncertainty to your advantage. Initially, when I volunteered, I thought I would be relocated to Paris, which is where most of the team was. But actually, I was relocated to London, and in a way that worked out even better. So you actually can't predict how things will fall at the end of it. What I learned is that instability can give you a chance to start fresh somewhere else, whether that's in another team or in another region. This can be a time of chaos. And rather than feeling uncertain every day about what's going to happen to you, look for ways to take action so that you're not just waiting around for that call to be on your calendar. 3, make the move work for you. When I landed in London, I traveled. I took this as a chance to build my dream life. When I was working in the US, I had wanted to travel, but didn't really feel like I could take the vacation days or have the friends to go with me. But in London, everyone was traveling almost every other weekend, and you could do weekend trips without taking too much PTO. I suddenly had this whole new world open to me. My advice is, if you're working for a corporate office or a team that has many different people in different regions, volunteer to go meet those people abroad, even if you're paying for it for yourself. My first trip to London wasn't actually paid for by the company. I paid for my first trip to London myself, with the idea to get out and see the different global offices. It was also another chance for me to work from London, which I'd wanted to do just to give a taste of what that was like. I had no idea how valuable that month I spent in London would be when it came time to relocation, because it made that decision a lot less scary for me. So what would I do differently? Well, I actually waited too long to make a backup plan. Sure, I saved myself from that round of layoffs 2 years ago. But when your company is downsizing, all you're really doing when you're switching teams is buying yourself more time. And I was so caught up in the excitement of being in London, adjusting to my new life, and traveling that I didn't really consider that was just the first or second wave of layoffs, and more would come. I would still be at risk for a layoff at some point because the whole company was downsizing. I wish I had done a little more networking once I had actually gotten to London, instead of saving it to the end when I felt like another round of layoffs were coming. So eventually I was still laid off, but I would do this all over again if I could, because moving abroad made me realize that it wasn't my 9 to 5 that was holding me back from traveling. It was my mindset and it was my environment. The second layoff taught me how important it is to take the chance when you have it to go travel somewhere, because you don't know what will change. So a couple ways you can do this. You can actually take your holidays when you have them. You can accrue holidays so that you can take a longer vacation and hit up a couple cities at the same time. Or you can even take unpaid leave. My family and I went to China for 5 weeks, but my parents both took unpaid leave so that they could spend that amount of time with me in China. Second, if you have a job that is remote friendly or has a work from anywhere policy, take advantage of it. See as much of the world as you can while you have that freedom and stability of the job. Third thing to consider is it might be your environment. In New York, my friend group was just different. People weren't trying to travel out of the country as much. When I was in London, people were always taking weekend trips. If you don't have a lot of friends who are asking to go travel, you might not feel as compelled to travel yourself. Editor Yuki here, jumping in to say that my point in this section is that when you move, you have a chance to build a new friend group. Your friend group might be more aligned with what you want to be doing, so I was able to find a friend group that was as interested in travel as I was. Moving to a new place sets you up for all sorts of new things, including a different kind of travel culture, and that might be a really good thing if your goals are to travel more. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and let me know. Are you thinking about traveling? And are you traveling as much as you want to? Now, as I'm thinking about the job market, I'm thinking about how to have balance. If you're interested in the journey of the job hunt, let me know below. Thanks for watching.